Oh, my Lord.
The following contest is a triple threat match. Making his way to the ring from Grenoble, France, weighing in at 520 pounds, the eighth wonder of the world, Andre the Giant.
What an unbelievable presence. Physical anomaly, one of the all-time greatest to ever step foot in a ring. Oh, feel the power!
And his opponents, first, from parts unknown, weighing in at 275 pounds, the Ultimate Worrior!
Spaceship with rocket fuel. This guy's a maniac. He's totally out of control. I love it. I smell money, guys.
And from Palm Beach, Florida, weighing in at 260 pounds, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
Everything about DiBiase is high class, the best of the best. DiBiase sweats champagne. Sweat?
Here we go with this huge triple threat match.
Guys, I'm interested to see if any alliances get formed here tonight, or if it truly will be one-on-one-on-one.
No matter what, it is impossible to escape the intimidating aura of the eighth wonder of the world, Andre the Giant.
Yeah, even I can't dispute that, Saxton. There is no greater force than the 7'4", 500-pound giant.
He's playing with him now.
Woo-wee. Stay down, man.
Oh, you're just asking to get disqualified.
Well, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Boom! Oh, look at the squeeze. It's on like a vice grip.
Oh, that just looks nasty.
Oh, it's locked in.
Guys, the $1 Million Man was at the center of perhaps the most infamous moment in the history of the WWE Championship when he tried to purchase the title back in 1988.
And he was almost successful, Michael. If you remember, the first part of the plan worked flawlessly when Andre the Giant dethroned Hulk Hogan for the title. But it all kind of fell apart after that.
As Saxton mentioned, DiBiase nearly became WWE Champion in 1988, but let's not forget the most egregious part of that whole plan. Of course, I'm talking about the referee switch.
Yeah, it's hard to believe DiBiase would go so far as to have some guy get plastic surgery to look exactly like one of the WWE referees. But I guess that just goes to show how important the title was to him.
Nailed it. This can't be legal. Totally ruthless, but effective.
The superstar always needs to be ready to be attacked by both opponents in a triple threat match. Circumstances create interesting alliances, and the numbers game can become your worst enemy in a hurry when you're competing against two other opponents. No matter how you look at it, it's a situation you don't want to be in, but you must prepare for it.
Oh, knee to the face.
That's going to hurt. Elbow finds its mark.
A competitor must be ready for the possibility that they'll fall victim to a 2-on-1 attack in a triple threat match. A great example of that was the triple threat match on SmackDown Live between AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler, and Baron Corbin. No one thought that Ziggler and Styles would work together to perform a double dive off the barricade that put Corbin through the Spanish announce table.
And that's exactly what a superstar always needs to have in the back of their mind. That at some point, their two opponents will most likely join together and take them out. It's one of many occupational hazards that come with competing in a triple threat match. Every superstar tries to create a finishing move that they can perform on any opponent. I don't care who you are, Andre the Giant's sit-down splash will leave you in the canvas permanently.
This is what makes him one of the best in the business. Wow, Andre the Giant just timed that perfectly.
Boom, running STO plants him.
Nicely done.
I think Ultimate Worrior is done playing. There are certain finishers that seem like there's no coming back from. I think if you polled the WWE locker room, the sit-down splash from the 8th wonder of the world would be #1 on that list.
You never want to count a WWE superstar out, but I don't see anyone kicking out of a pinfall after they've suffered the sit-down splash from Andre the Giant. At 2016's Clash of Champions, it was another classic triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship. It was Bayley versus the Boss, Sasha Banks, versus the champion, Charlotte Flair. The match started out more like a singles match between the Boss and the Queen. Bayley learned very quickly it was every woman for herself.
Harsh impact.
Don't you dare get up, man.
The triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship was another example of the incredible competition between the female superstars of WWE. Charlotte was physically dominant in fighting off the challenges of Bayley and Sasha Banks. At one point, the Queen even landed a moonsault on both their opponents at the same time. But the Boss and Bayley put it all on the line and kept fighting.
There were several near pinfalls during this battle, but in the end, as it should be, the Queen exhibited her genetic superiority by fighting off both her challengers. After drilling Bayley with a boot to the face, the Queen pinned the Hugger and retained her Raw Women's Championship. This is where all it takes is one move and your opponent can gain the upper hand.
That could be a game changer. This is going to be bad for Andre the Giant. This is not going to end well for Andre the Giant.
Andre the Giant can't be enjoying this. Boom, what impact!
This is going to be bad for Andre the Giant.
Ooh, what impact! Andre is down and in serious, serious trouble.
This is not going to end well for Andre the Giant.
If I was the $1 Million Man, I'd be careful I don't wake a sleeping giant here.
I think Ultimate Worrior is done playing.
It's always important to get off to a strong start in a match. It's even more important to do that in a triple threat match, given that you're going up against two opponents at the same time. Add to that the no disqualification stipulation, and there's little to no room for error. One mistake, and it can cost you a lot more than winning the match.
Byron, you spoke about this before. A competitor must do everything they can do to start things off on the right foot in a triple threat match. One way to do that is to target one of your opponents and go after them as soon as the bell rings. You're battling two opponents at the same time, so it's hunt or be hunted.
And that's what I like, Michael. It's survival of the fittest in that ring. In a triple threat, a superstar can't waste time feeling opponents out, getting warmed up.
Look at Andre the Giant.
Warm up the bus. This one is over.
His shoulders are down.
One! Many of the early WrestleMania events were shaped by the colossal presence of the 8th wonder of the world. WrestleMania 2 featured a 20-man over-the-top rope battle royal that featured WWE superstars and players from the NFL. It should be of no surprise that the match saw one superstar left standing, Andre the Giant.
When Worrior gets into this zone, it's hard to stop him. Throughout his illustrious career, Andre the Giant's been known as the master of battle royals. Andre's dominance in the WWE versus NFL Battle Royal at WrestleMania 2 was simply awesome.
There's no doubt about that, Michael. Look at how easily Andre disposed of a world-class tag team like the Hart Foundation. The eighth wonder of the world tossed Bret Hitman Hart over the rope and onto his partner, Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
When this guy's on, look out.
Oh man, the Ultimate Warrior is really feeling the pressure. There can be so many combustible elements in a triple threat match. A superstar must keep in mind the no count-out stipulation can mean that the match is going to be fought in every possible location. All that matters is when it's time to go for a pinfall or submission, the participants have to be in the ring.
Andre the Giant can't be enjoying this. We've witnessed on a number of occasions the personal issues between competitors forcing the match to overflow into the crowd, up the ramp, or in the locker room. In a triple threat, there are no countouts and no disqualifications, so it's essential for the superstar to remain composed enough to remember that the match must end in the ring.
Facts like that are not always easy to remember when a superstar is so focused on destroying their opponents. In a triple threat match, a competitor must take advantage of the no countout and no disqualification stipulations. They must also remind themselves that when it's time to put someone away, it must take place in the ring, not on the outside.
Byron, given how lethal the $1 Million Dream is, I would have to think priority number one when facing Ted DiBiase is avoiding that move.
Oh, I'd agree with that, Michael, but that's easier said than done. Some of WWE's biggest names have tried and failed to avoid the $1 Million Dream.
Right to the skull.
As Byron was saying, some of WWE's biggest names have felt the wrath of the $1 Million Dream.
Gorilla Press Slam.
That might have done it, Cole.
He's too quick for him there. Back now inside the ring.
Axe handle finds its target.
If you remember, guys, after the $1 Million Man failed to purchase the WWE Championship, he actually went ahead and created his own title, the $1 Million Championship, which was made of pure gold and countless diamonds.
The Ultimate Warrior just too fast for him.
Comes up big with the reversal.
Oh, nasty.
He's got the shoulders down. He's not going to go quietly.
No superstar worth his salt ever does.
He's making a statement here with this attack. Big time takedown right there.
Oh, what a splash.
Are we really going to see Andre lose here? Things just went from bad to worse for Andre the Giant.
That was clever, Byron.
He's lining him up.
He's teetering on the edge here. He's close to being done here.
Double boom!
In February of 2017, SmackDown Live was lit thanks to an epic triple threat match for the WWE Championship. Champion Bray Wyatt defended the title against former champions John Cena and AJ Styles. This battle overflowed with mayhem before the match even got underway, thanks to Luke Harper attacking his former leader, Bray Wyatt.
They get dangerous out here, especially when there are no countouts. It's not often that the WWE Champion
In 1993, a touching video tribute on the career of Andre the Giant aired across all of WWE television programs. That footage was the way WWE announced the creation of its Hall of Fame, and its first inductee was none other than the eighth wonder of the world.
When WWE announced that it created a Hall of Fame, it was fitting that its largest superstar and one of its most beloved figures would be the first to be inducted. There's no one in our business like Andre the Giant.
Talk about a giant announcement. What a way to let the world know that there will be a WWE Hall of Fame. There's no better way than to make